Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Woodwork, where we bring you the latest from the world of football. Subscribe to our channel to never miss the latest in football news, analysis, and much more. So, after a lengthy international break, club football was back again this week, and we got to witness some very interesting matches across Europe as well as the start of the ISL back home. And to take you through those matches, today we have Chaminda Khan, Rishit Ghosh, and Himanshu Bora with us today. So, to get things going, let's start with close home, where the Indian Super League started off with a bang. So, the first match that I'm going to talk about is NUFC versus Mumbai. It was a huge upset. NUFC, they're clear underdogs, and Mumbai was one of the tournament favorites. So, what's your thought on this? There was some controversy in the match as well, Himanshu.
I think this was the biggest shock coming from the Hero ISL because going into the match, nobody expected Northeast United to get a result out of this. Because Mumbai City FC, they're the most prolific side, maybe the all stars in their side, and Northeast United went into this game as minnows. But one thing is for sure, we know as of now that Gerard knows is a very tactically astute manager because he knew if he's going to take the game to Mumbai City, you're never going to win it because they have the better players, they are better on the ball. So what he did was he kept a compact defensive shape, and the players worked hard off the ball, and they waited for their chance to counter when the two centre backs, Lambert and Fox, they were playing the long diagonal to Luis Mercado on the left. And I think Northeast United got a little lucky with the red card. I mean, it was a clear sending off because Ahmed Jah was very rash with his tackle. So that helped Northeast United's cause. And even after that, I think in the second half, Lobera tried to change his tactics. He took off Okweche. He put Lafondra up front. He brought Goddard, to assist Adam Lafondra on the right wing. But Northeast United kept their shape. They were good off the ball. Their defensive shape was good. And I think it's a very good result for Northeast United going because in the first match, if you beat the title favorites, that's a big boost.
It's a psychological boost. It's a psychological boost for them. So, Trishida, would you like to add something?
Actually, I think nobody expected a Northeast to hit them so hard, and I think the turning point was Jahu's red card. And as soon as Jahu was gone, I felt Northeast took initiative in their own hands. And Jared News understood the same situation because he knew that once Mumbai lacked the legs in the midfield, they would be wary, and it would be easy to break them down. So I think after that, Northeast tried to control the game in the later stages of the game. And I think this is a learning point for Lobera's side. But I think Mumbai will turn it around definitely. But we saw a lot of new players come in, and maybe they need some time to gel up. And it's a good time to be a Northeast United fan, definitely, because if you beat the so-called biggest, maybe the biggest team, like in terms of expenditure. And it's a very good start for them. So if they can beat Kerala Blasters in the next tie, I think the luck will obviously turn around maybe this season for the Highlanders.
Yeah, good things to look forward
You
to.
should have said that it's a great time to be a Northeast United fan. And being a Northeast United fan, in the very first moment when the kickoff happened, the very intent that the players had shown. So at the very beginning, they managed to win balls back to back. So it was very good to see such intent at the early stage of the competition. So I believe Gerard Nas will turn it around for the Northeast United for this year.
Yeah, good things to look forward to this season. So another match that happened was between two established powerhouses, between BFC and FC Goa, two regions where the fan bases of where Indian football is huge. So we got to see a clash of titans type of matchup in this match, and it lived well up to its hype. It's a close match. So to take you through it, Trishida, would you like to start something?
I would say like Bengaluru, where they knew their game plan. Okay, they're very conservative, like tight at the back, feisty in midfield, like combative in midfield, and their forwards were waiting to break on the counter. And Goa was like, yeah, we will enjoy possession like we always do, and we'll try to create space and like look forward for the runs of George Ortiz or Igor Angulo. Princeton Rebelo was a surprise start for me because maybe after the match, Joan Fernando said that Brandon Fernandes wasn't fit at that particular time because he was injured in the playoffs last season, and he's slowly getting fit. So as soon as PFC got the initiative, they were on the counter. They hit them hard, and I think Goa was surprised. If it was the old Goa squad, I don't expect them to like equalize and so quickly. But I think the turning point in that game was Brandon Fernandes and Albert Nogueira's introduction at the 60th minute, probably near the hour mark, and I think it turned the tide around for Goa. Angulo was easy to like find the people, and Alexander Romario Jesus, I have to give him credit because that guy, he has been winning the I League for 2 years and he has not played in the ISL. And as soon as he got the chance, he took the initiative. He ran in the space. So I think that Juan Ferrando trying to think on his feet and keeping Goa in the like match till the last moment. There was a chance they could have won it at the end as well, and BFC also had a chance. But I think this was something which BFC would be very disappointed about because they had a very solid defense and
Yes.
their midfield is highly talked about. And I think it is a 3 points loss for BFC rather than a 1 point gain for Goa.
Yeah, coming, giving up a 2-0 lead in such a interesting and important matchup, that has got to sting for BFC, right? So
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
ISL started off with a bang, obviously, with an upset and a comeback already. So that was great, and we hope that the ISL continues to entertain us in the coming weeks. So now moving off to Europe, we had some amazing matches this week in the Premier League, starting off with Tottenham and Manchester City. So up until now, people have been saying that Tottenham has had easy fixtures, and that's why they're up there. So this was supposed to be their first test in what they say are being a title challenge. So and also rekindling between the rivalry of Guardiola and Mourinho, right? So would you like to say something? Let's start with Bora.
Yeah, I think Tottenham, they stuck to their plan. I think it was very clear, it was very obvious from the start that Tottenham are going to play on the counter. They are going to park the bus and they are playing because that is how Mourinho plays. That everyone knows it.
And that is how Guardiola also plays.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Tottenham are exactly suited to that style of play because they have got some great pacey players up front, especially Son Heung-min. If you look at the first goal, it was a simple lob pass from Ndombele, but it was Son's space. He exploited the space behind the defenders. He went past. I think it was a bad defensive shape, because when Harry Kane dropped deep, the two centre backs, Ruben Dias and Aymeric Laporte, they came with him. So that left a lot of space behind for Son to run in. And I think Man City got beaten there. And also, it was a good win for Mourinho, but I think the scoreline was not a fair reflection of the game because Man City were definitely the better side. I think everyone has to agree to it because they kept the ball, they created a lot of chances, but the main talking point has been that that reliability in attack, that is what is lacking for Man City. Obviously, they have not been helped by Sergio Aguero being out. I think his coming back to the side will help. Also, Sterling was on the bench; he could not start because of a injury he picked up during the international break. So yeah, these are all excuses. I mean, Man City with the style of play that, and we have all seen how ruthless they are in front of goal. Last season, they were the highest goals. They scored a lot of goals. At this moment, I think after 8 or 9 games, they scored 27 goals last season, and this season they have just scored 11. That is almost like one goal per match. We do not expect that from Man City. So I think Guardiola has to improve on that front if he's looking to mount up a serious title challenge.
Actually, I noted 2 points like the like city's deficiencies. One of that is everybody knows Pep Guardiola is very fickle-minded. He doesn't stick to a particular build-up or phase or trying to stick to his own players, back his own players. Like this match required a certain Phil Foden to be started. Instead, okay, fine. Ferran Torres got a hat trick against Germany. He gave him an opportunity to prove himself. But the flaw is when there's no Aguero in the side, you need as much as attacking intent you can provide. So he tried to create that intent through like trying to take in Cancelo inside and asking him to be the pivot alongside Rodri while they're building it up. But Rodri and Cancelo was not a like I didn't think the combination worked out because one of them was a liability on the ball. Uh, Cancelo particularly because he gave away the ball. But when he's drifting inside from the right flank or the left flank, it becomes easy for him to pick up his players ahead of him. But when someone is standing in the midfield, it becomes an altogether different ball game. You are standing in the center of the park. You have to be aware of someone taking a run. You have to be you have to make sure that there are no open spaces left that can be exploited. So as soon as Ndombele would drift or drop deep, Kane would exploit the space left by Rodri because Rodri would go behind Ndombele into the Tottenham half, and Cancelo would be left as the lone pivot. So I don't know why Pep Guardiola tries to change the tactics every time because during build up you have to be very sure that this is working for you. I think Guardiola needs to back his guns like Klopp does. Like Klopp gives opportunities to players who are proving themselves day in day out, and it's high time he gives Phil Foden his deserved chance. I know everyone deserves playing minutes, but Phil Foden, that match was made for him, man.
Yes, yes. We've all seen Guardiola overthink things, during even UCL matches, when he
Hmm.
tinkers too much with the formation and does not let them play the way they should be. So I think we saw an example of that today. Speaking of that, Chaminda Da, what do you think of Spurs title challenge? This is Mourinho's second season, and as we
Hmm.
all know, he always wins in something in the second season. So do you think this is the year that Spurs can, go on to win something?
Well, it's very hard to say at this moment because even despite so many injuries, Liverpool are doing quite well. And
Hmm.
with a revamped backline and with good performances from Mendy, Chelsea is a dominant force right now. So it's a three-way game at this moment, I would say. But there is a fair amount of chance that Tottenham Tottenham could make their way all the way up to the top. They have proven their credibility, especially in this fixture against Man City. It was a tough fixture. It was a pragmatic approach, but a win is a win, right?
Yes.
As Mourinho said in the press conference, it doesn't matter how many minutes you have the ball. It only matters if you have won the game. So
Yes.
I believe
Hmm.
with this pragmatic approach and the Son and Kane duo up front, it's a
Hmm.
very lethal combination right now. So there's a good amount of chance.
Yeah, Harry Kane is a totally player, like is a player who has been totally evolved from the past few years, and now he's trying to be the playmaker, the deep lying playmaker. He's a proper 9.5 dropping inside, maybe not a 9.5, but I would say a 10. But he's dropping inside, creating spaces in the midfield, and looking for the runs of his wingers who are running beyond him. That is a very important trait. He has vision, he has precision, and his passing accuracy has increased. And I think they're also helped by Højbjerg. Højbjerg has been Mourinho's look to midfield maestro. He has recovered the ball. He can intercept the passes. He's building up play. And I saw a stat somewhere which says 1 touch per minute in the Premier League this season. So I think Mourinho might have just found his new Tony Cruz or the tempo controller of Tottenham Hotspur. And I think that was a bargain buy definitely, but it is
And
proving to
what
be
about
much more.
Regulan?
Yeah,
Regulan is
Reguil.
also getting
Yeah,
an important as well.
yeah, the summer overhaul, except for Bale till now, maybe Bale will come in handy later on. I think the entire market was like made for Spurs to capitalize on, and with a small budget, I think they did much better than what did last season.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Reguilon, we saw Reguilon in the Europa League, and he has accustomed to life in Premier League, like he has been playing there for more than 2 3 years. So it is like a easy ball game right now for Tottenham Hotspur, and we know Mourinho knows the Premier League in and out, and he knows the coaches as well. So I am hopeful of them giving a title run. And
I think I'll have to look
Okay.
for hiding if Spurs win the title. I'm not going to appear in this podcast next year.
it's it's the same for me, buddy. But the thing is that yeah, we know what he's capable of. He should be happy with top four. but I don't know, man.
So, speaking of title challenges and pragmatic signings, we've had Liverpool versus Leicester,
Hmm.
where Jota, another pragmatic signing that they did, is reaping benefits. So, your thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Jota has been like, I think I told you before itself, like if Wolves finish in the top six, Jota has to be the main man. But I think Jota now, like going, I didn't know that he would be going to Liverpool, but he has transformed Liverpool in a big way. And now Klopp has serious options on the bench, and Jota has scored scored 5 goals in probably the last 6 matches, and it's a new record. I think he's also helped by his wing backs. Milner was on standby, and Robertson. I think that guy is the epitome of what a modern day wingback should be. The hardworking, standout performer every day he plays in. The crosses are just juicy. I think I have no term else other than juicy. And I think Robertson is the best left back currently in Europe. I don't think, but I think he is. And obviously, they miss certain players in midfield, but I think they were ably capable by some youngsters like Curtis Jones, who is like really looking to strengthen his position in the field. And it was a psychological win for Liverpool because many were starting to write them off because of the injuries to Gomez, Van Dijk, and then Salah testing positive for COVID-19. But I don't think so. It's going to hamper them because they have options on the bench. And the biggest honors or the asset of Klopp is that he backs his players, unlike Pep Guardiola. He backs his players for a particular position and he makes sure that they play until the guy who is injured or is suspended returns. So that is the biggest advantage that Liverpool has, a small core group who needs and stands beside each other, and at home they are just like, you can't conquer Liverpool at Anfield right now because they have broken every record that's possible, and just Chelsea's 86 match record stands between them and history. I think they have that potential.
Yeah,
And that's great, about trusting in young players. That was very important for Liverpool, given that so many senior players are out injured. So
Hmm.
that will play a huge role. And Bora, you were saying something?
yeah, no, I mean, this win, I think this is Liverpool's most impressive win in this campaign, even though they had most of the senior players out. And I think
Mm.
this is going to be a statement for all the title challenges. I mean, people thought Liverpool were going to be whipped by Leicester because Leicester have definitely they have beaten Arsenal, they have beaten Man City, so they thought
Hmm.
maybe Leicester are the team to they were sitting at the top of the table, they were being called title challengers. But I think how Liverpool emphatically took this game to them. I mean, this is the true spirit of champions. I think when the backs are against the wall, that is when
They
the true
push
champion.
harder,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think so.
Don't you guys feel like Leicester are doing something wrong when they're playing three at the back? I think it takes a lot of their sting away from their press, maybe.
Yeah, I think Brandon Rogers, I think he has looked to play this formation since he has gotten Timothy Castagna. So he is using
Hmm.
Castagna and Justin as the fullbacks. And since Castagna got injured, he put in Mark Albrighton. With one less man pressing the Liverpool team, I think you're not going to cope with that because Liverpool, with the kind of pressing that they deploy, when you have one less man in
Hmm.
midfield, I think that affects a lot. And that is what was
Hmm.
clearly evident because Leicester could not just hold onto the ball. And even when they got the ball, it was Liverpool who pressed them hard to recover the ball and then countered and attacked.
I felt the same because I felt that Leicester's midfield was too passive because they were having only Tielemans as their creator, and Madison didn't have an effect because I thought maybe the high defensive line of Liverpool could be something that Leicester could exploit. But I saw nothing of that sort. They couldn't create quality chances, either like Harvey Barnes or Madison, and maybe a three-man midfield with Dennis Praet and Madison in the as number 10 could have been much more like lethal against Fabinho and Matip. I think that was where Bobby Firmino was very good. He dropped in midfield and tried to create a 4v2 advantage, like with the Liverpool midfield. And his link-up play was good, and he finally got a goal. I think Klopp very much knew how Rodgers would succumb slowly to his plan, and I think this is a huge learning curve for Rodgers and to learn right now because they committed the same mistakes at the back end of last season, and they're trying to show the same trends. Like when one or two things aren't going your way, you have to tweak a little bit. So that is where Brendan Rodgers needs to give it a hard, long thought.
Exactly. He needs to be a bit more flexible when facing big
Hmm.
teams. So that was great in England, those matches. And we had some amazing matches in Spain as well in La Liga,
Yeah.
where the most interesting matchup was between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. And Atletico Madrid overcame Barcelona after a very long time. So, Chamindada, I would like to know your thoughts on this.
It was a massive victory for Diego Simeone. It was his
Hmm.
first win in La Liga against Barcelona in years. So it had a great impact for them. And I believe it will provide a great boost for the rest of the season for them. They might be considered a real contender this season, with both Barcelona and Real Madrid struggling in their own terms. So,
Hmm.
Yes.
and yes, they didn't have the services of Suarez. Suarez was diagnosed with COVID, so he missed the match. And yes, for Barcelona, it was a contrasting scenario. They have more things to worry about right now.
I felt Koke was like excellent on the ball, off the ball, made crucial recoveries, as well as I think he was linking up play. He's not known for he's known for his combative approach to the game. Like he's a more of a robust midfielder. Off the ball, he was keeping the shape, and it was a very crucial segment of the play where Korea came down, dropped deep, and was creating the chances. There's a certain reason why Real Madrid and Barcelona aren't scoring or are keeping clean sheets. I felt there aren't like people who are capable of replacing one another. Like there's no replacement of Messi, there's no replacement of Benzema, there's no replacement to Ter Stegen, there's no replacement to Courtois. But on the other hand, when Suarez is not there, Korea is doing the role of a playmaker. He's dropping deep, he's creating chances for Felix. Felix is pressing. Carrasco is obviously versatile and he just like relishes his opportunity whenever he gets a chance to play. Same goes for like when Real Madrid played. We'll come to that later on surely. But Atletico did have a combative plan. Like they decided to sit in a mid block, so they decided to sit back, and they had let Messi dictate terms or like roam about spaces, which was not much that they afforded him. I think Atletico like really studied this game plan, and this like is a real question mark on Koeman right now because he's closer to the foot of the table than to the head, like the top of the table. So this is rarely seen, and I think like it's a very it was obviously we predicted it would be a transition period for Barcelona, but this is a high time that they note their shortcomings right now and work on it.
Despite despite being the team that we expect to sit deep and soak pressure,
Hmm.
Atletico Madrid had managed to dictate the position of the play quite well. They had almost 45% of the position, which is
Hmm.
a huge statement against a team like Barcelona, who usually dominates with 60 or 70% position. So it was
Hmm.
a completely different tactics by Diego Simeone.
Like he used even Lorente quite well because Lorente used to run into the space which Angel Correa would leave, and he occupying the half spaces. And when Piqué was injured, I felt like Barcelona went up, like they were trailing, so they had to go pedal up. But they were continuing the same intensity, which was very noticeable at that particular point of time. I felt they should have
Lackluster, yeah.
yeah, they should have tried to provide a width through Roberto pushing further up. Roberto was getting so many touches. I think or even if Roberto would have drive, then Dembele would have gone like got a lot of confidence. He was taking on the Carrasco and he was beating him. He was delivering a few sweet crosses from the right. But I think if there was some more energy, if they were trying to create an overload, they should do it with more confidence. I think Barcelona, and that is what something which Koeman needs to work on because while during the build up, I'm seeing Oblak using the long ball, the short passes, everything, but Ter Stegen is using the same method of like building it short. His center backs come in deep, and it's already very difficult to break the line of play. Once you're trailing, you should have a certain backup plan to build up, and that is where Simeone has his options. But after Suarez has left, Barcelona do need to think about a target man. I think a target man like Harry Kane or someone. I'm not speaking about the transfer market, right? I'm just speaking of someone who can use that space and let others exploit the pace, like the way he's exploiting the space, Harry Kane of Son. uh, if Barcelona had a target man, they could do the same with Ansu Fati or Dembele. And Leo Messi and Griezmann together can be like used, but it has to be, they can't be used as target men. We all know that. So I think either they play breath wide or either they come up with a different strategy to like break the line. But these teams will be a real like a reckoning for Koeman.
Nice, nice. And speaking of, Atletico's very amazing start, the rivals of Barcelona, Real Madrid, again, they also dropped points on the same match week. Any thoughts on that? Like long list of injuries for Real Madrid, but still, I think Emery outplayed Zidane in the end game.
I think Himanshu should also agree the thing that he knows Emery in and out. So Emery always tries to plan it out before, and sometimes it just gives him a like it doesn't work out at all, or it looks very decent at the end. So I think this one was the like later part that looked decent at the end. He kept his important players or the ones who could exploit Real Madrid at the end on the bench, Chikwazi as well as Kubo, and later on they came in. They were unprecedented by because slowly the gaps were starting to open, and Real Madrid gave away silly penalty. And I'm not blaming Courtois for this because although I have certain grievances for personal reasons he had when he was at Chelsea, but I think Courtois is not responsible for the reason sole reason that he single-handedly gave them handed them a La Liga last year. He was keeping clean sheets, due to which you can credit to Ramos as well because he was pedestal during the title challenge run. But Courtois did his best. Now with certain players injured, Zidane has found flaws like in the bench, which replaces Real Madrid directly. You are a Real Madrid fan, Shankar. You will know what flaws I'm talking about, both in
Yes,
attack
yes.
and defense. And I think it's high time for Zidane as well, because
Hmm.
if this thing continues, we will see a similar trend like in the which is happening in the Premier League. New teams emerging, and slowly the old gargantuan teams fading behind, or just like fighting for top four.
Yes, yes. And as you said, like this problem, this is not actually a new problem.
Hmm.
Last season also the problems were there, but after the COVID, they had an excellent run, a 10-match unbeaten run, which led them to the title. But
Hmm.
even before the season before, then last season and this season as well, Real Madrid has failed to connect in the final third.
Hmm.
Goals pop up because of individual brilliances sometimes, but there is no like when you watch say City play or say some Barcelona even, there is a fixed style to their attacking. They know what to do. The players,
Hmm.
they know which to move. But Real Madrid, they rely a lot on means they think that whoever the opponent is, we can adapt to them. So there
Hmm.
is no ekdam, what do you call it, a fixed tactical approach. Zidane is lacking that, and I suppose if he needs to find a perfect formula, otherwise means it's becoming the match to match basis that is not working out anymore. So I feel that
Exactly.
interests me a lot.
If you watch both Athletic or not, taking all the three teams, the
Hmm.
shots per game of Real Madrid is significantly lower as compared to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid.
Yes, exactly.
Even Barcelona is taking on shots, but maybe it's not on target or it's not yielding goals. But at least they're trying to penetrate the defense. I think Real Madrid does need to give a thought about if Benzema's link-up play is absent or if Benzema has an off day, who will be our go-to man? Because Asensio is not the same guy he used to be. Like I don't know what happened after the injury, but
Yes, yes.
he isn't the same guy, and they are lacking options, serious options on the right flank as well as the left flank. Because Vinicius, we have seen he has a problem with shooting. He will create, but he will falter at the end. Hazard is
And what about
misfiring.
Jovic? He has been being a bench warmer only for so long.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
it's hard.
And
It's it's a high time Zidane identifies his men who will be the number 9. So I think it's entirely up to Zidane, and if he wants a flawless season again, this is providing to be an epitome, because Emery literally outcoached him. Like, if I think on a neutral perspective, he outcoached him because he knew what Zidane was going through. He didn't have the superhuman mentality of Benzema and Ramos, so he knew that once they wear out, it would be very easy to break them, and he kept his important players at bay. And if you notice Emery very closely, I would ask Bormanchu that did do you think what he's going through right now, Emery, the Yellow Submarine Revolution, which people are speaking about, is he the one to lead them to top four finish again?
Yeah, I think Emery is the right man at the job because I think Spain is where he rose, where he
Hmm.
made his mark in Spain.
With Sevilla.
With Sevilla, he won three Europa League titles. So he knows the game. He knows the teams in and out. And with the decline, of Real Madrid and Barcelona, I think it is time for clubs like Real Sociedad or Villarreal. I think it's time for them to step up their
It's an
game.
open game right now. Yeah.
Yeah, La Liga is no
Hmm.
more a two-horse race like it used to be now, because teams like them are taking the game to Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they're matching them. They're going toe to toe. They're going stride to stride with them. And I think Emery,
Hmm.
he is absolutely the right man at the job. I think he has that mentality. He has won titles before with clubs. He has managed some big players. So I think, yeah, Emery, he can. I think a top four finish is very very well on the cards for Villarreal.
So,
Yeah.
Spain had been a two-horse race for a very long time, but it's changing right now. Similarly, the Italian Serie A for the last, major part of the last decade had been ruled by Juventus. But this season, Milan is absolutely, demolishing those standards. So we
Hmm.
had an amazing matchup between Napoli and Milan this weekend,
Hmm.
and King Zlatan. What can I say? So let's start with Himanshu. What are your thoughts on that? He's still scoring goals like when he was 25, 26.
Exactly. I saw a comment of Jose Mourinho about Ibrahimovic. No, he says that a player who is 40, he obviously lacks that physical aspect of a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old, unless it is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I think he's just playing his A game out there right now in in the Serie A. He has 10 goals in 6 matches. He is leading the charts, and I think behind this AC Milan resurgence, there is a lot of credit has to be given to Zlatan Ibrahimovic because he is leading the line. He's
Hmm.
and the mentality that he has with the first goal that he scored, if you look at that goal, it was a header from the edge of the box. It was just absolute amazing technique from Zlatan Ibrahimovic to outfox Koulibaly
Hmm.
in the box, get to the cross and direct it to the bottom corner. I think such kind of goals lifts the morale of the other players too. When you have a player up front who is scoring such goals, amazing goals week in week out. I think that lifts the morale of the entire team and pushes them to perform well. And I think Pioli has got his tactics bang on with the midfield of Kessia and Benacer. I think that midfield with the defensive, astuteness of Kessia and the passing with the passing range of Benacer, I think that is a perfect combo, the perfect pivot that AC Milan needed.
Yes.
True.
Ibrahimovic is, proving to be the perfect leader of that team. But we've seen this season that even without Ibrahimovic, Milan has been performing really well. So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on Trishita?
Yeah, exactly. Because if Rafael Leo would have been fit now, if Zlatan is out for 10 days, as we are hearing, due to an hamstring injury, Rafael Leo could have stepped up in his shoes and tried to score, like, because he's a natural goal scorer. And Colombo is not yet ready to start, and as well as Brahim Diaz. He's not a natural center forward. So they might have to look for false nine options or playing two up front of Rebic and Kalangolu and something like that. And but Pioli has his options, and I think the last match showed before they were I think fatigue was a very important reason due to which they couldn't win the last two matches before the international break. And as soon as we saw a rejuvenated AC Milan, there's something different. The passing of play was quite natural, fast, progressive, and there was abundant pace on the flanks. I was impressed with Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez was like criticized because he isn't delivering crosses like as Italian sources would say. Theo Hernandez is known to be a natural wing back who gets into half spaces and is known for his cutbacks and crosses. So I saw the different instinct from him again, and he is one of the wing backs to look out for in the Serie A. And Zlatan obviously relishes playing with him. So without Zlatan, I think maybe they won't have a target man, but I don't think that they would be lacking any natural goal scorers because they have ample number of players who can like fit in.
Yes. So another thing I'd like to ask you all, like in the Syria, the last major part of the decade, Juventus has been winning, okay, but
Yeah.
there have been teams which have been challenging them. Like we've seen Napoli in the past, even Lazio in Inter last season. But eventually, they keep on going to the 35th, 36th match week. By the end, Juventus always overcomes them. But this season, given that there's a new manager at Juventus, the midfield has been reshuffled, the defense is also being trying different things. Do you think it's Milan's best chance to try to break that streak?
Absolutely, I believe it's a great chance for them to capitalize on this chance, because we have seen that Juventus is right now a bit shaky, even despite their recent wins. I believe they have some important things to work out. So, being a new manager, Pirlo is still trying his methods to work out well. In the meantime, Milan is doing quite well. They have quite a veteran, I would say, squad with
Hmm.
packed with experience. And obviously, Zlatan Ibrahimovic up front, he inspires the whole team, right? And he is right now gifting everyone a PS5. So that's a moral boost as well. So I believe this is a great year for them, and it's a great start. Hopefully, they will be free of injuries, and also the COVID is a growing concern once again. So hopefully they will manage to keep up this tempo, and I hope it won't be a one horse game once again.
Maybe it's ironical, but I think Juventus still has a lot of legs because the it is the I think the only loss came against Barcelona this season, and it was very tricky because they didn't have Cristiano Ronaldo, and Juventus still will go for it. They will go for it, as will the rest of them. I think 7-8 teams are in the fray, still 7-8 teams, because it will be a like I don't know where it will end, but Milan is obviously looking the strongest of amongst them.
Okay, Himanshu, would you like to say something on this point?
Yeah, exactly. The thing that is to be seen is, can Milan keep up this for the rest of the season? Like, they've got a very good start. I think now they need to back this with some more good form in the coming weeks, and I think that can put up a serious title challenge for Juventus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sassuolo, Roma, and Inter Milan or Napoli can also challenge them. It's a very open championship right now in Italy.
Yeah, Sassuolo is looking like the new Leicester.
Yes, and
Yeah,
yeah, and I think Italian football, like it has been stagnant for a very long time in the top. It needs a change to, drive in better footballing results, right?
Yeah.
So, and talking about Ibrahimovic and charismatic strikers, another charismatic striker that we are seeing in Europe right now is Erling Haaland.
Hmm.
And in the recent match between Hertha Berlin and Dortmund, we saw him at his full potential.
Hmm.
So, your thoughts on that, gentlemen? We'll start with Rishida.
I would say massive destruction because Berlin is obviously like they were destroyed, and Haaland played between the lines. Haaland's left foot was like lethal, and when he's on song that day he's unstoppable. And that day, because maybe he was more motivated, he won the Golden Boy award. And so, if someone is awarded as the best youngest player on the planet, he feels he's rightly rewarded for it. And I think this is high time. Erling Haaland uh, like is respected and is regarded as one of the best strikers of this generation after the likes of maybe Lewandowski, Harry Kane. like I'm considering the generation of Joao Felix, Kylian Mbappe. I think Erling Haaland, top three, definitely top three center forwards right now in the world.
He's just 20 years old right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
His
and
He
he
has
just
prime is
yet
yet
to
to
peak.
come.
and
Yes,
he
yes.
just made his debut
Yeah,
in the Champions League just one season back with Salzburg.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
one season, in such a short span of time, he has made such great strides. So that's that's definitely
He's scoring for fun right now.
exactly. He's a born
Hmm.
finisher. Like when he gets the ball in the box, he just finds some way to get it in the back of the net.
And we have to credit Dortmund as well because we have already know how their like scouting system is. They awarded a 16-year-old their debut again. So this is the right side for I think Haaland to grow, develop, and nurture because with the likes of Bellingham, Sancho, Reina, and everyone, they're so young. Julian Brandt is considered one of the youngest talents. So he's just in his prime and coming to Dortmund. So this is the perfect team for Haaland to stay in, develop and nurture, and then go for a big move.
Exactly. Dortmund has been, known for, developing talents and then, making them world-class superstars for move on. And they've been especially amazing with the development of strikers. We've seen
Hmm.
Lewandowski, then we saw Aubameyang. Then right now, I think we're seeing the next great striker in the making of this generation
Maybe
in
Bayern are
Erling
looking
Haaland.
at looking at the next Lewandowski maybe from behind there.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
probably.
Yeah. So moving on to France, we had many people call it the El Clasico because of the huge money involved between Monaco and Paris Saint-Germain. So it was not the result that everybody expected.
Hmm.
There was a slight upset in the results. So I'd like to take Himanshu Bora's thoughts on this.
Yeah, it was such a delight to watch the match because one of my most
I'm
favorite.
starting with you. I'm starting with you because Cesc Fabregas, a former captain of yours, he put on a masterclass display, rolled back the years.
Yeah, exactly. He just rolled back time and he was just pulling the strings. He was netting passes from the midfield. He was assisting players. He got the winning goal from the spot. So I think PSG they looked in cruise control, till halftime when Mbappe got his brace. But after that, Nico Kovac made some great tactical changes. He brought on Sayo
Hmm.
Henrique, he brought on Cesc Fabregas, and the game completely transformed. So yeah, it was for me as an Arsenal fan, it was really nice to see Cesc Fabregas still going, at 33 years of age, still bossing the midfield like he used to do back in England. And yeah, I think Monaco, I think they've climbed to second in the table with this win. They are just 4 points behind PSG, I think, right now. So yeah, I think Monaco are a team to consider this season.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think it's time Tuchel introspects again. We have been saying this repeatedly, so might sound like yeah, they are too blatantly blaming Tuchel for every loss. But you don't have Silva, you don't have Meunier again. So you're fielding youngers. So when you are trailing or when you're down to 10 men, you bring in a talisman or a guy on the bench who can dictate the play. Marquinhos is sitting right there. He's sitting till the end. He didn't come on. I was very surprised when he didn't come on, and like when your
And
midfield.
even Kimpembe got a yellow card. He was vulnerable as well. So I believe there had to be a change. There had to be a change in the back line.
Okay, it's fine. They didn't sign anyone, or they didn't get anyone, or they would be in the market again. But if for a particular match situation, Tuchel has to be like someone who is thinking on his feet right now. Okay, what I have to win this match or see this out for the next 20 minutes. I have to keep it at 2-2, or I can't give the penalty away. That was a silly penalty to give away and go down to 10 men. And I think Tuchel hasn't sorted his priorities at all in defense. And I am surprised how Courtois is starting day in day out. Maybe because they're too thin, like the squad depth at the wing backs is too thin, or he's not left with options as the youngsters may not be up to the potential he's looking forward to.
Again, another point I'd like to bring up is it's not very easy to notice, but if you look at the scoring statistics for PSG over the last 2-3 years,
Hmm.
even they are also becoming, they have lots of superstars in their team, but even they are also becoming over reliant on Kylian Mbappe to find the
Yeah.
goals, right? And given that he has not signed a contract extension yet, so do you think that PSG's inability to go the next step in the UCL, like they failed in the finals last time, do you think he'll move on?
Maybe like I'm looking at an option like they have so many people who can progress with the ball. Verratti,
Mm,
Neymar, Di Maria. They are excellent guys who can progress with the ball at their feet. So they needed a natural attacking threat like a goal scorer. They got Icardi. It's not working. If you are watching, Icardi is not starting day in day out. And
that's it.
Moiskin, they bought on loan Moiskin, and Keane isn't like firing on all cylinders. So if Kylian Mbappe feels that I am saturated winning the League One again and again, and I can't win UCL here, he will look for better pastures abroad. Real Madrid, Premier League. I don't know his options, but there are lots of options. There are lots of teams who love
Real
to
Madrid.
have yeah, but I think there are lots of options of teams who can buy him and who will want him on the market. So if it's all down to him right now, and yeah, Real Madrid is leading the race.
Actually, over the last few years, this has been one of the worst starts to the league, but they still at the top. And as you've mentioned in the previous conversations that Marseille has yet to play 2 games. So do
Yeah.
you think the title race could get more feared up, or even this year also PSG will run away with the title? What's your opinion on this?
This is a league which is always like we think once like this will go away from PSG's stride. They are not going to win it, but again they are so dominant. They are so strong. Their quality of players on the pitch are to that level that League One isn't the league they should be playing in. So that's the reason I think they will still win. But yeah, Marseille, Monaco, Lille, they will be trying to like they have to go match by match. If they win a single match against PSG, then maybe there is a chance that yeah, PSG feels threatened.
Okay. So, with this, we come to the end of today's discussions. We'll be coming to you again next week with more matches to discuss, with more news to talk about. So, thank you for listening to us. Please like and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss out on any of the football news and analysis. Thank you.